is Honorable Ogene Emma Ego. Honorable Ego was in the House of Representatives, and in fact, he spent the past almost eight years in the House of Representatives. Well, nowadays, he is representing Nigeria on the ECOWAS Parliament, and he's our guest this morning. A fine morning to you, Honorable Ego. Okay, I was just saying good morning, and indeed, happy Eid al-Kabir to you, Honorable.
Yes, same to you. I'm happy to be with you, yes.
Indeed. And
as you know, yesterday I just came from Sierra Leone, where we went for ECOWAS election monitoring, monitoring exercise.
Yes.
Yeah, we're waiting for the result, but I think that was a good election.
Indeed. In fact, I was just mentioning that, I don't know if you heard me, that nowadays, that's where you are spending some of your, work time, as the
Thank you.
on ECOWAS. Now, well, you have represented the good people of Amu Odofin for 8 years, two straight terms, and so I just wanted to say, and well, again, your party is the PDP, and unless you've changed in recent times, it's possible. Are there any changes on the horizon?
Well, let's not talk about that now. For the moment, I'm in PDP, but anything can happen with it.
So one step at a time. Let's take it one step at a time, right? But in this connection, that was a slight joke. But in this connection, as you know, it's a new day in Nigeria, meaning that we have another chance to begin sort of fresh beginnings. So I wonder what you think when you look at the tasks ahead of the 10th Senate. The 10th Senate is a different kind of a Senate in that the sheer number of freshmen, shall we say, freshman parliamentarians, it's like it hasn't been like that in a long time. So what do you consider to be the tasks ahead of the 10th Senate of the National Assembly?
Well, I think that this Senate and Rep, they are very unique, especially the Rep. We have 360 members in the Rep, but I can tell you that about 170 members are brand new members. And so people have to do new learning. There's no institutional institutional knowledge by the members. The members have to learn the ropes, to look at for good members. Unfortunately, good are very few, less than 1/3 of the new members coming. So, yes, when you look at the new members coming through, a lot of them are very, also knowledgeable. So I hope that we learn very quickly and everything will start. But for now, we can do the best.
No, okay. Well, the sound is a bit choppy. One just hopes that it'll get better. As you know, we've come out of well, it was quite dynamic. Let me use that word. A dynamic selection of our principal officers of the National Assembly. In fact, that process is still ongoing because I think they're going into the matter of committee chair and other important offices. But in this administration, this new administration, that of President Bola Tinubu, quite a number of things have happened. The proverbial expression about hitting the ground running, you'll agree that Tinubu sort of exemplified that. In fact, so much so that some people are a bit breathless. Now, in this connection, those things that have been done, you look at unifying the forex regime. You look at the very, very first one he did. In fact, he did it simultaneously with his being inaugurated when he took off the subsidy regime. Just to mention those two. As you know, that's going to have a big impact on the people. There's also the matter of students' loans. So all of these are sort of concepts that haven't been in our vocabulary or our mental space for quite a while. Do you think that, he's going to need, the president, the administration, is going to need the understanding of the people, even though we keep on hearing that, look, it is a task that must be done. We don't have a choice. Still, people feel these issues. Talk to me about that, if you will, and what you think can be done in the National Assembly to sort of ease the process. Ease the process. Already I've started to hear that there are the whole students' loan thing actually needs working out. Even the removal of subsidy needs working out. In what way do you think the National Assembly can be a partner in progress, so to speak?
Well, let me tell you straight away that I don't envy Mr. President Bola Tinubu. There were so many problems left for him to carry. The economy is comatose, the country is not making progress, there's unemployment everywhere. The economy is disjointed. For instance, when you sell dollar to some people at about 450 naira to $1, they bring in goods and services. Others, you sell dollar to them at, they buy their dollar at 750 naira. They also bring in goods and services. So you find that some people are profiteering. The central bank will give the dollar at 450. They take the money away, they do round tripping, bring it back, give it to Mala, they sell it at 750. In fact, the economy has been as bad as it is before. And I'm shocked that the CBA governor, who was the former managing director of a bank, would go to that extent. So it's not surprising that Tinubu came as a no, enough is enough. We have to have one unified currency. If you're an importer, you buy dollar at the same amount. If you're offering services, you buy it at the same amount. That way, the economy will stabilize. We appreciate prices will go up for a short while, but everything will stabilize. And then there will be growth. And then foreign investors can come in. Because foreign investors now knowing that this is the amount that the dollar is trading in Nigeria to the currency they are bringing in. You know that if they come in, they can invest and they can get their return well. But if foreign investors come in with their money and they are getting dollar at 750, and some people are getting at 450, those getting at 450, you know, are just doing a tripling. He will be making a loss at 750. As a result, he will go back. This is what is creating unemployment. So the dollar stabilization will help employment. Then when you talk about the issues of petrol subsidy, look, I don't know. Tinubu is a very bold. I don't know whether to call the former president cowards. You know, before Buhari came in, he said he was going to remove the fuel subsidy. He never did. Jonathan promised the same thing. He never did. Yaradua the same thing. Even Obasanjo said never. You know, so for Tinubu to have done it, it's made a big sacrifice for the nation. It's like somebody who has said this water will do. It's not no man, a politician who will deceive you. The man is an honest man. He's a good man. We need to encourage him. Some things we know. Some of you are talking about now is the removal of the tariff for electricity.
Yes.
Now, the question I ask people is, which one is cheaper? Is it the tariff they've removed, or of course, since they have removed the tariff, because the complaint in the House, we had in some of the committees, we had opportunity to call on those who are generating electricity, both the GENCOs and the DISCOs. We called them. Each time they complain that they cannot provide light because the tariff is so low. And then we used to ask them, if the tariff is adjusted, will you be able to provide light more often? Yes. You know, so when you look at it, some of the suffering Nigeria will suffer will be temporary. The tariff removal, which they have announced, of course, will stabilize electricity. And I'm sure if having electricity, let's say for 20 hours of the day, nobody will be bothered about that marginal increase. So the thing is, the current National Assembly, they need to sit down and cooperate with the president. Because without doing that, the country will not move forward. poverty will be everywhere. All these things that President is doing, these were things that former president were, but they did correct them. And so the current president is inheriting a nation that is not only badly mismanaged, but a nation that is dysfunctional, a nation that, cannot get that growth, a nation that cannot create employment. So let's give him a chance. Like I say, if you do the same thing over and over again, you find that you cannot get a different result. Some people say, oh, they would have put palliative in place first. That was what Buhari said. Jonathan the same thing. Even Obasanjo the same thing. But after you put palliative in place, then you see Nigeria Labour Congress, you see lobbies, you come and lobby, leave it there. And then at the end of the day, we're about to square one. This president is quite honest. He's with anybody. He has said he wants the economy to grow, he wants employment, unemployment to reduce, and he wants GDP, to be upwards. And exactly that's what he's doing. So I think that I'm one of those. I mean, we are Nigerians. We see what we are suffering when we go to petrol station. But let us give him a chance. This is the first time a president is doing this differently in the last 30 years, I would say. This is the first time.
Indeed.
So let's give him a chance to do what he's doing, and let us see what the result will be. But I can assure you that in another 2 years, when we take stock of the economy, we take stock of our growth, we take stock of employment, we take stock of even the happiness index of Nigerians, oh, you will know that he has done very well.
Indeed. Okay.
So
now,
that is my opinion. Yes.
Yes, that's for that. Now, let me return for a moment, if you will, to the National Assembly itself. That is the body made up of senators and representatives. And as you know, any president needs the cooperation, the understanding, the sort of working together of the executive and the legislature. Now, we said earlier that so many experienced hands did not come back. Up to half, if not a bit more than half of them are actually, more than half of them are actually rookies, so to speak. Now, I don't know how intense the level of seriousness was, and you're a good person to ask because you have just completed 2 straight terms, and so you're very well versed. I'm talking here about what the actual legislative work that an honorable member or a distinguished senator has to do, the offices, the research facilities, the staff, so that because when we see it in other worlds, in other places, the members of the assembly, members of their parliament are ever so, I mean, you sort of can trust them that they're on the ball. If you're coming, you better have done your work thoroughly because these guys, they're just being the watchdog and they know what to do. Now, I don't know what the culture is from your point of view. Are we like that? Can we be as sharp as that? Do we see it as a very, very serious affair that, it involves quite a bit of study and office work and research?
Yes.
Is that an attitude that you say is prevalent in the National Assembly?
It is. It is. The other thing is that a lot of people only try to see the bad part of the National Assembly. Oh, the National Assembly is earning so much money. They multiply the amount they are earning. They don't seem to understand how important the work of the National Assembly is. I think the National Assembly have given good account of itself. And this third National Assembly is very good because they are stabilized. The Senate President and the Speaker of the House are the people that the party, majority party, where Mr. President is, are the people who are the principal officers. Both the Speaker was picked by the APC. The Senate President was also picked by the APC. And I think that is good. Like in the US, it's the party that picks Speaker and Senate President. All over the democracy, it's the party. A situation where members come into the House and say, oh, I'm independent, you came with a party and then you struggle to undo what the party wants. It's not good because the party has programs and the policies that they want to put forward for the country. And if the Senate President and the Speaker of the House are not from the party, it then shows that there's a problem, because the House will be projecting some policies which are different from what the President is projecting. At the end of the day, growth will elude the country. But for the first time in many years, we've gotten it right. So we now have a President of Senate, a House Speaker, who are the people that the President of the country wants. And so he can work with them harmoniously. Now, coming to the issues of new members that are very many, I'm sure that the new members will be willing to calm down themselves and learn from the old members. They need to listen, they need to be more attentive. And for some of them, I will ask them, if you are picking your SLE, senior legislative assistants, pick old SLEs who have been working with old members. That way, your legislative work, drafting of your bills and motions will be much easier. And then they can also learn from those staff. But if you just come here, a brand new member, you go and carry people from your constituency who have not been in the House, you will have a problem. But most of them are not used to the culture of the House. But looking at it, the ruling party has a majority in the House. Well, not a majority, a slim, the opposition has a slim majority. But I think they can still work together, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to see inflation down. Everybody wants to see more employment for our youths. Everybody wants to see the economy grow. Because if you are representing your area and you come into the House and you are not supporting policies that will make the economy better, of course, it's of no use. It shows you are not representing your people. So I think that the new members are going to learn. They will calm down. They will learn. They've not appointed the committee chairman yet, but once those ones come, we're only hoping that the committee chairman should be more, the few old members that came in to head the most important committee chairmanship position, so that they can guide the new members who will come. And I'm sure that the new members are going to learn fast, because most of them seem to be very well qualified too. So I think that this 10th Assembly is not going to disappoint the nation. That is my feeling.
Okay. And now, and also given your knowledge of the House and how it works, its temperament, it was a bit, shall we say, hot, tension-ridden when those principal officers were about to be elected. You know, that was when we're going on about the nomination and all of that. That has to settle down, and people have to, those who might not have got their way, they have to sort of, get over it and come back and work. Maybe get over it is not exactly the way to put it, but you know what I mean. That's past. It's been done. The decision has been taken. Do you think people...
But what I will tell you about that...
Sure.
So what I will tell you about that, I'm not surprised, and people should not be surprised that the election into the principal office position was very competitive, because it's a big position. If you are the Speaker of the House or the Senate President, you are like a mini president of the country. You can call on any minister, you can, bring out any new political directive, and you can push them through. In fact, the Speaker of the House and the Senate President are very, very powerful people politically. Apart from the President of the country, nobody is higher than them. Even the governors don't have as much power as them, because of their ability to make laws that will affect the whole country, that can even affect the governors. Laws that even if the governors don't want them, the Speaker or the President can push them through. So they are powerful positions. And there are different geopolitical areas. And that's why you see the competition was very tough. But now that the election is completed, everybody has to settle down to rally around the two major leaders, And if I were still in the House, I probably would have asked for a constitutional review, because a constitutional review to guarantee that the party that has the majority, party that has the president or the governor, should always be the one to nominate the Speaker and the House and the House of, and the Senate President. When we had 8th Assembly, we had, Right Honorable Dogora, who was nominated as Speaker. But it was from a minority party. And we know the consequences because the majority party were not happy. So there was confusion. The president and the House were not working, working together pari passu. But now that the parties that have power that nominated the candidates and the candidates were accepted, have won the election, I think that is good for the country and it will help lawmaking and will help the development of the country.
Indeed. And
what we need to do is for the new members to rally around them and then let us learn and move forward.
Indeed. And I'm sort of imagining with the president's chief of staff being as highly experienced as he is in National Assembly matters, I think it's going to make for a sort of a very harmonious relationships in terms of, how to go, that you just have like a consultant, as it were, even though that's not his primary function. His function is a lot larger as the chief of staff to the president than perhaps a liaison person. But still, that experience is invaluable when it comes to relating with the National Assembly, I imagine.
I agree with you. Don't forget that this president executive are the most friendly group that should be to the National Assembly. President Tinubu was once a senator. His deputy was a senator. In fact, it's an immediate, was with us in the National Assembly. So when you have two people like that, and then when you have Gbajabi Amila, who is like an ancestor in the House, National Assembly, he's been there for over 20 years. And most of the position has always been a leadership position, from leader of the House, minority leader, now then became speaker. You can be sure that there will be a smooth relationship. And Gbajabi Amila, we worked with him. I was with him for 8 years in the National Assembly. He's a great man. He's a great lawmaker. And he's a man who loves the country. And he's a crisis manager. And in managing crisis, he's a man who does not want to oppress. He will always call position and let them see why his view is much more superior. And he listens to your views. And if your view is superior to his, he would amend his view. That's why you see that in the House, the relationship was very, very smooth, was very cordial. So it's a big asset, not only Mr. President, but to the nation. Tinubu did a good thing by picking Gbajabi Amila. I can assure you that we're going to have a very good relationship because while Gbajabi Amila was here as our speaker, our relationship with the Senate was very good. Anytime we have a bill and we have a conference to harmonize the bill between the Senate and the House, of course, the experience of Gbajabi Amila was always here to be here. And we always make sure that we reach a decision that is the best interest. So, Gbajabi Amila will be those of us who are in the House and who are no more in the House, who know him, we're all happy that he's holding that position and he will be able to guide Mr. President. And Gbajabi Amila's experience spans the whole country. He's been dealing with members from all over the country for over 20 years. So he knows what every part of the country needs. He knows what the grievances of the country is. He has historical experience of how some people have been marginalized and what we need to do to make sure that they are happy to have a united country. So all I can do is to congratulate President Bola Tinubu for picking His Excellency Femi Gbajabi Amila to be his chief of staff.
Okay.
He's going to help the country. Yes.
1 second. Let me bring on our first caller. Mr. George has called in from Lagos. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Happy Salah.
Indeed.
And greetings.
Indeed.
Greetings to the guests.
Happy Eid al-Kabir.
Yes. Uncle Yori, I am still waiting to see what this 10th National Assembly is going to do. To show me, to convince skeptics like me that they can be what we expect them to be. This issue of rubber stamp is not my problem. My problem is the National Assembly, in cooperating with the president, needs to do two things. They need to help the president to reduce waste and not to promote waste. The president has very many laudable programs that needs money to execute. And these monies that are supposed to be coming from revenue generating agencies are leaking. And the National Assembly members are aware of it. Will they be able to control it this time around? They are aware and they promote it. You know, this is about the third time I'm saying this on air. If you like, set up or send journalists to conduct investigative journalism between the National Assembly and the MDA, and you will know what I'm talking about. Even our guest there, being a member, I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about. So, where we need their assistance in these present-day circumstances is to curb waste and also let the government become focused. You are not just to be supporting everything. We expect them to support the government, but in supporting the government, they should help the government to ensure integrity. The president cannot be in every MDA. All his appointees, he cannot be within 24 hours. It's the National Assembly that can help him to check and make sure that the policy and targets that have been put in place are achieved. This is what I am waiting.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. George. Well, Honorable Ego, what I think I should do is that let me note the questions, please, and of course you have the answers already. Let me go on a quick break so that you won't be interrupted. When we come back, we'll take your response to that particular contribution. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teachers.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet, sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What
News. First with breaking news.
Okay, welcome back, and we're in conversation with Honorable Ogene Ima Ego. He's just finished 2 terms straight in the National Assembly. He's now concerning himself with duties at the ECOWAS Parliament, and we're having this conversation about the task ahead of the 10th National Assembly. Now, Honorable Ego, whereas I said yes, I'm going to come back, we also have a caller on the line. Lawrence has called in from Yenagoa. Good morning, Mr. Lawrence. I guess that sound showed that the call dropped. That was Mr. Lawrence calling in from Yenagoa. So, Honorable Ego, if you are there, Honorable Ego, did everything drop? Well, it looks like our main feed dropped as well. But no problem, we're going to get that back, and then we're so sorry to, the other Lawrence who had called in from Yenagoa. But a caller, Mr. George in Lagos, had called in and wanted the honorable, well, yes, he still is honorable, but former member of the House of Representatives. We wanted him to sort of react to one of the more important, considerations that we're going to have. We have so many things to do. A lot of them, in fact, it's not a lot of them. All of them will be costing money, money which we don't have. And so we can't certainly afford to waste any, whatever the amount, whatever the method of waste, either by padding, because we hear all sorts of things when it comes to monies, from ghost workers to stuff being padded, and any other form that you can think about. And so that caller, Mr. George in Lagos, I thought that one area of assistance is this whole matter where the National Assembly would be a screen, so to speak. If there's any, one doesn't expect hanky-panky anywhere in governance, but if there happens to be any, then, that is one way in which they could help. So the Honorable Ego has not got a chance to react to that yet, but I'm sure that as soon as we're back up, he will. In the meantime, if we lost Lawrence, well, we have Chidi now. Chidi has called in from Kafanchan. Good morning, Mr. Chidi.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in. Happy Eid al-Kabir.
Good morning. Yes, I wish you the same, sir.
Yeah.
May it bring more unity to Nigerians.
I hope so. Amen. Amen.
Yeah, to the issue concerning the 10th National Assembly.
Yes.
Obviously.
And what we can expect of them.
Yes, they have a very great task that is ahead of the National Assembly, which is a different organ of government. And for me, I would advise, and I would like to see a robust National Assembly that is ready to work, even though independently, but at the same time, that is relate very, very freely with the executives, in such a way that whenever they pass any bill that is meant for the welfare of Nigerians and for the well-being of Nigerians as well, the president would not shirk from taking the responsibility of signing such bills into acts of law in order to complement and to have a very free administrative style that will bring independence and good democracy dividends to Nigerians. Thank you very much. That is my take.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Well, I almost made you an honorable member there, Mr. Chidi, because I'm speaking with Honorable Ego. Is Honorable Ego back online?
I'm back online. Can you
okay. Honorable Ego, yeah. Okay, now, two things. Chidi has just called in and has contributed, but let me go back to, I think, is it the one of,
George.
Yes, okay, George. You haven't had an opportunity to comment on his presentation, which has to do with reduction of waste.
Yeah, okay. But let me say straight away that I didn't quite get what she said because I was offline for a short while. But talking about the advice to reduce waste,
yes.
I think it's a good thing. And the National Assembly is positioned to be able to do that. Don't forget that it is the National Assembly that does appropriation. In fact, House of Rep are the #1 in terms of appropriation. So in going through the budget, if we see areas where there are budgeted figures and we think that this is just waste, we don't need it, of course, we'll cut it. We've done that several times. Also, you should be rest assured that we'll work with the president to reduce waste, to make the economy better. In doing that, it does not mean that the House is rubber stamp. No. The House also has the interest of the nation, just like the president has the interest of the nation. Members of the House are those who be the constituents. And if the economy is not doing well, there's unemployment, people are hungry, price of things are too high, of course, the first pressure goes to members of the House. So it is their duty to ensure that there's no that the House is going to join the president to reduce waste. And let me tell you that the House is always very happy to see a president that signs bill very quickly. A president that acts very quickly, as President Tinubu has just done. When there are problems, the president comes up quickly and takes a decision. The House is always motivated. It makes the House to work much more quickly. Unlike some president, you will have over 100 bills, they will not sign anyone for 6 months and just sitting. So I think that since this president is proactive, the House will also work with him. Is such matter. Right now, we can say there is an economic emergency, and if members of the House don't work with the president, it shows they are patriotic. But I think that both across party lines, they work with the president. But that's not to say that they will not criticize the president or will not say no to some of the policies of the president. But if the president's team can explain it well, like the speaker, to the members and their office, of course they will go along with it.
Okay.
So that is
in the meantime, Bernard in Enugu has also called in. Good morning, Mr. Bernard.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please. Happy Eid al-Kabir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Uncle Yori. So my contributions is this. I think the masses, the impact of the policies on the masses is very harsh. It's very harsh. I think my salary cannot, I can't take care of that. I think I buy average 40,000 on the phone in a week to go to office and come back, not going to around 40,000 in a year, just in a month, just to go to office and come back. So how much in my salary? So what I advocate that the parliament is to bring a bill that will alleviate, that will cut down the suffering of the average people in the society. And then they should do well in pushing their allowances, what they're taking home, because our own is going down, our purchasing power is going down, so that the masses can feel the impact. We have the policies are good, but the impact is hard. So the parliament will come up with the policies or with ideas that will alleviate the suffering of the masses. Then cutting SSC, when they bring budget, they buy computer this year, they say that is a computer, we feed them the budget. So I think those should be looked into thoroughly so that and this is the amount of vehicles, the amount of parliament should look into them so that the masses need that they are legislating for. We have confidence, yes, that these things are working. And their lifestyle too, because we can't be suffering or striving to make.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Bernard, calling in from Enugu there. Honorable, some of the things that Bernard spoke about there, they're out there in the public space already, that life is about to get quite hard. People are talking about needing to tighten their already tight belts. Here we are grappling with the whole impact and implications of the fuel subsidy. Energy is doing its own. Those ones, I saw something this morning, they are actually producing and distributing less energy, but at a higher cost than before. Now, your comments on all of that, because I think the people sort of look to the National Assembly. Of course, the presidency is thinking about all these issues too. It doesn't want to, as we say, suffer the people, but they're expecting that the National Assembly itself will then make assurance doubly sure that you can't do that at the moment, no matter how cooperative you want to be. What do you think about those lines of thinking?
Well, I think I share his sentiment. The masses are suffering right now. And I think that something needs to be done to improve the lot of the masses, because expenses have gone up. I share his sentiment. But don't forget again that the masses have been suffering for a long time. It's not as if the masses just started suffering because they increased the price of petrol. Now, we should also realize that in increasing the price of petrol, like the MD of NFC once said in the public interview, over 6.something trillion naira will be saved. This money that is saved, much of it will go back to the masses. In other words, this money will go into the federation account and it will be shared. The federal government will take their own, and they will now have more money to do road construction, to build hospitals, to run university, and to do other things. And more people will be employed. Secondly, the same money will go to the states. States will now be able to hire more people. Because if a state was having 200 billion as annual budget, and because of the fuel subsidy removal, the money that a few people have been putting in their pocket is now available to be shared to the state, and the state is now getting 400 billion naira. There's no reason why the state cannot even increase their workforce by half. And also, the state can also increase salary. So my advice to the masses is that, just like we are suffering it, let's be patient. The first subsidy thing has just started. It's not up to a month yet. Now, what are the gains that we are getting from the first subsidy removal? A few people, less than 100 people and companies, are collecting more than half of the total money that is accrued to the nation under the guise of fuel subsidy. But we know all this is fraud. But nobody has been able to stop it in almost 30 years. Now Tinubu have come out and bold enough to confront this oligarch, to confront these powerful people, these trillionaires, these billionaires, to say, no, you cannot do that anymore. We're removing the fuel subsidy. The money you have been stealing is enough. I want the money to go back to the masses.
Okay.
So, my friend from Enugu, let's have patience. In the next 6 months, you will see how the Federation account money work.
Okay.
It is now left for every state to hold their governor responsible. Every local to hold their local government responsible.
Okay, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry, Honorable. I got to interrupt because Major Ayodeji retired, called in from Mowe, and wants to contribute to the program. Good morning, Major. Well, you heard what just happened there. Again, we lost the Major. But Honorable, you remember, among other things, remember the whole viral video, I think that was last year or so, it's all right, off the mic. That is to say, when honorable members wanted to start to really, shall we say, spill the beans. So it comes back to trust, doesn't it? It comes back to people needing to be able to trust their representatives.
I agree with you. You know, there's a lack of trust on the National Assembly. And there's this feeling that the National Assembly is getting so much money. And it's not true.
It isn't?
If you look at the budget of the National Assembly, the budget of the National Assembly is less than 0.005%. We're talking about point something. But some people tend to think that the National Assembly's budget, some of the national budget is 20-something billion naira. If you compare that to over 40 trillion budgeted for the whole country. And don't forget that the National Assembly has a staff strength of over 6,000 civil servants who work with them. And then you have political people, those who do the bills and the motions. You know, National Assembly is a third tier of government. So, but people just look at it, oh, there are 360 members, and then 1 or 2 senators, 4 or something members. They are the people sharing that money. They use their calculator to divide it. This is what people are. No, it's not like that.
Well, like that. You can say it's not like, Honorable.
Yes.
Honorable, I hear what you're saying, but as you know, it's out there in the public space that they might not be right, but you would know better. But they think that we are paying our legislators far too much, you know, considering all the economy, the society, and all of that. And I want you to relate this to the earlier question, I think it was Mr. George, about looking for ways and means to reduce costs. That the fact that legislators in this country are paid like princes,
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Are paid like princes.
Let me do that. I was in the 8th and 9th National Assembly. The highest amount we were paid as salaries was 800,000 naira. That was what we were earning. I mean, at 800,000 naira, you know, by the time I buy ticket twice, I go to my constituency. The money is almost finished. You know, now there are some amount that are paid as allowances to maintain the office of the honorable members.
Yes.
It's not really excessive, you know, because if you look at what the honorable member does, we hire a constituency office, we have workers is going to pay, you know, when they are coming in the constituency, it goes back as quick as possible to solve it, paperwork, etc. You know, and as a good honorable member, you must consult a lot of lawyers because you are bringing out a bill. You must get them to look at the bill to say, hey, What do you think? What is your opinion? Are there aspects of it that are illegal? Would this help the country? So, members are faced with a lot of financial problems. I don't know of any honorable member who have been in the house, and when he left the house, then he's a billionaire or a billionaire, unless he made money before he went to the house.
Oh.
You know, like I said, the budget of the National Assembly.
Okay.
Look at just a moment. Look at the budget of the National Assembly. Compare it to the budget of the nation. It's infinitesimal. It's very little. And look at National Assembly. How many staff do they have? That's why I said they have over 6,000 civil servants who are working there, who are earning money on it. Now, look at other areas. National Assembly does public hearing before you bring a bill out, you gazette it. There'll be public hearing where you invite people from all the nations. All that costs a lot of expenses. You have to advertise in at least about 3 national newspapers or television. You know, so there's a lot of expenses in National Assembly. If you look at the money that is going to National Assembly, Google it, National Assembly budget. Don't look at what some social media people are just throwing in the real National Assembly budget.
I see.
Compared to the national budget, you see that in terms of costs, the National Assembly is not contributing to the rise in cost of expenses of the nation. The amount is very infinitesimal. I will before the last one, what the nation starts to gain by the removal of the subsidy. The subsidy is taking almost half of the nation's budget. Half of the nation's budget. You know, we don't have enough money to employ more workers at the federal, state, and local government level. We don't have enough money to do roads. Most roads are bad. You don't have enough money for hospital. University lecturers are strike. You don't have enough money to pay them. Yet, trillions are going into subsidy. You know? So, those are the areas we need to look at. How can we manage this removal of the subsidy to work harmoniously for the House of Work harmoniously with the President? Let us see what palliatives will come in. Now, if you ask me what palliatives, I would say the palliative we need is to increase salary across board and to employ more workers. We remove from this subsidy. They should employ 100,000 workers. Governments can employ, local governments can employ. The money that will come from all this removal of the subsidy will be enough to pay these workers, pay more money. For instance, we go every time to China to borrow money to do railway. If you remove the subsidy, you have money to do the railways. You know, if we need to borrow, what we are borrowing will be less. So let's look at things that are actually reducing the budget of the nation. The things that are actually making us expenses to be very high, making the nation to be broke, not to be able to do what we are trying to do. It's a subsidy. It's a major thing. And I thank the Tinubu for doing it. Yes, we will suffer maybe for the next 6 months or 1 year. But by the time it settles down and the subsidy money removed from the subsidy comes in, it will help us. Again, look at the issue of the currency. Just a moment, the currency that is now being made apart. Before, trillions of naira is being thrown away for a few people. Who will come, they will get the dollar at 450, and then they will go and sell it at 750. Double the price.
All right.
Now, all these monies are monies that people have been able to save with his action. All these monies, we can now use these monies, you know, to help the budget. And it will make life better for the common man. But if we don't cooperate, if the House does not cooperate with the presidency, if we, the ordinary citizens, don't cooperate, you know, you find out that at the end of the day, we will continue to suffer.
Indeed.
May we not suffer in Jesus' name. But what I'm saying is that the areas where there's problem, where there's siphoning of money, where there's money is being wasted in the economy, have been discovered. And the amount of fuel subsidy, and then the difference in the money that you are giving to some people, you know, in foreign exchange. Now, I can see the federal government getting billions, if not trillions, from this foreign exchange that they have now brought, you know, the dollar and the naira to the same thing for both the official rate and the black market.
Okay.
That way, a lot of money is going to come in. So my appeal to our people is that let's give this government a chance.
Indeed.
You know, I'm not actually.
I hear that.
APC member.
Exactly.
So I know that what the president is doing is best for us, and that is why I'm supporting it.
The other thing in closing, and well, we really have to be very, very brief because I have very little time here, but in closing, the fact that a person is a legislator, whether you're a senator, whether you're a representative, you're a legislator, and we'll talk about making laws. Now, you, in that area, you actually, you sponsored, you were very active in sponsoring bills. Is that something you look forward that, or that you think the incoming assembly will also be active upon? Because it's one thing to be screening and all of that, but you yourself generating bills, are you optimistic that we'll get some of that too in this 10th assembly? Very briefly, please.
I think so, because the desire of any legislator is to be able to pass bills. And so you see new members coming out with different bills. Some of them will pass first reading, second reading, they'll be killed. Some of them will get to third reading, but by the time they do public hearing, they may not pass. Or by the time the Senate will do conference with the Senate, some of the bills will not pass. But a couple of them passes. Lawmaking is not an easy thing.
All right.
The lawmaker won't be sought to struggle to make bills. So I think that these people are coming to, they will imbibe that culture and will try to get some bills which would favor their constituency and favor the nation.
Indeed. We're going to have to leave it there, Honorable. And I want to thank you very much, Honorable Ogene Emma Egon, former member of the House of Representatives, that is the 8th and 9th Assemblies. And right now, at the moment, he's busy, and he was representing the Amuwo Odofin Federal Constituency. But, now you concern yourself with the ECOWAS Parliament. Thank you very much, Honorable, for your time this morning. Okay.
Thank you.
Indeed. So that's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. Once again, I say happy Eid al-Kabir.
A presentation by ShopX TV. Are you worried about the safety and security of your home at night? Do you wish to know when intruders come close to your home? Or do you want to protect what matters to your family from anywhere at any time? What if there was a convenient, affordable way to keep surveillance on your home without having to worry about wires, installations, or heavy light bills? Introducing the incredible Sidebulb HD Cam, the robotic 360-degree two-way torque camera with action tracking technology. Sidebulb is the ultimate solution for discreet and powerful surveillance. It's so easy to install, and the app lets you rotate and view the video from your Sidebulb in real time from any smartphone. You can drop in from anywhere and check in with our two-way talk technology. Talk and listen at the same time.
Hello, Mommy.
Hey, sweetie. I'll be home soon, okay?
Sidebulb's advanced tracking technology locks onto motion and tracks in real time. Set the siren alarm to go off when motion is detected and keep intruders away. Check in on your home while you're away. Make sure the kids got home safely. Interact with visitors at your doorway or surprise a trespasser.
Surveillance in a light bulb. I was amazed at the 360-degree rotation. It gives me a full view of my house and I can check in on my kids. The footage is clear and the night vision is so impressive. The best part, I can add multiple sidebulbs for a complete home surveillance.
I really like my Sidebulb. It's so easy to use. I just downloaded the app, I put it on my phone, and I add it up and run in about 3 minutes.
Traditional surveillance systems are bulky, expensive, and difficult to install. But with Sidebulb HD Cam's innovative design, installation is as fast as changing a light bulb, and it's made for indoor and outdoor surveillance.
The Sidebulb HD Cam is now available in Nigeria, exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying up to 200,000 naira for an indoor and outdoor security system that doesn't fully secure your home. But call the number on your screen now and get the Sidebulb HD Cam for just 45,000 naira and get peace of mind. And that's not all. If you call now, we'll give you an extra Sidebulb at no extra cost. That means you buy one and get one free for 45,000 naira. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you get the Sidebulb HD Cam delivered to you for free. wherever you are in Nigeria. So, call the number on your screen now or visit our website to place your order while stock lasts. The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
Our planet, our home, threatened by man's activities with fears of mass extinction on the rise. On Green Angle, we examine the issues that affect our environment, seek solutions to put us on track to secure and restore a cleaner and greener world for generations to come.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
In the month of June, the 4th of June 2023, makes it 27 years since the wife of the late MKO.
Hello and thank you for joining us on TVC Midday News. We begin this half hour in Lagos, where President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to face the future with renewed hope and vigor. This comes as President Tinubu joined millions of Nigerians for the Eid prayers at the State House Annex at Dodan Barracks. Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Obafemi Hamzat, while speaking, appreciated Nigerians for voting President Tinubu at the 2023 February presidential election.